Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. I'm your host, Joe Garcia, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the AL West race and how that's kind of heating up as the Astros, the Mariners, and the Rangers are all contesting to go ahead and be in that pivotal, wild card race there. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. I don't even know if I'm live or what's going on, but we're going to go ahead and wait to see if some of the originals, some of the old OGs join us here. So we'll go ahead and give everybody a minute. Today's guest is going to be none other than Carolina Teague, the host of League of Her Own. She'll be joining us here shortly around 12:15. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about the AL West and how, like I was saying, that's kind of heating up already. As of the standings, I went ahead and took a look at them earlier today. So in the AL West, we still have the Mariners leading the race. We have closely followed by the Rangers and, of course, the Astros. Only about a game separates everybody here at this point. Hey, Paul Catu, what's up, man? And the other thing is, as we're looking at the standings for the AL West, as far as I can tell, and the articles and the research that I've been doing here, between the Rangers and the Astros, it looks like the Astros are going to have the easier schedule moving forward. So the Astros just need a win. And in theory, if the Astros go ahead and win every single one of their games from here on out, they could essentially, on paper, go ahead and win the AL West. But is that realistically going to happen? Probably not. But I think the Astros can still go ahead and topple the Rangers because the Rangers are falling at this time. The Astros and the Rangers will, when the Rangers will go ahead and kick off a 3-game series that's going to be coming up here on Monday, September the 4th. So it's going to be starting on Labor Day. And that's going to be pivotal too, because I believe in this one, if let's say the Astros can win every single game, they're going to go ahead and succeed the Rangers and take their spot in the AL West. Hey, what's up, Mike Baez, Chris Leia, Astros, Puro pinche Astros, Christopher Leia, sweep. Yeah, that 3-game series is going to be really important here to the Astros standing in the AL West. And it looks at this point that the Seattle Mariners are going to be the guys that are probably going to run away and go ahead and clinch the AL West, which means that pivotal wild card spot is still going to be up for grabs. But if the Astros can go ahead and beat the Rangers with a better record, maybe their path there would be a little easier. And looking at what the projections are in that AL West, as far as, let's say, the playoff picture at this point in time, it's just projections because the season has not come to an end yet. But if we're going through wild card series here, it looks like number 3, the Minnesota Twins, will actually play, or the Twins, should I say, will play. Number 3 Twins will play number 6 Astros as far as their projections go. And the number 4 Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, would actually play number 5 Texas Rangers if that, in fact, the season came to an end, and that's exactly what unfolded. Mike Baez is still saying sweep. Tim Gonzalez, hey, what up, Joe? Did you fix your internet? I did fix my internet finally. The internet finally fixed itself, basically, should I say. AT&T, they suck, man. They didn't give me any real information other than just a text, and then even went on Twitter on a rant, and all they said is, oh, send us a DM and give us your zip code, and we'll let you know what's happening. They didn't tell me nothing that I didn't know already. So basically, AT&T, I have AT&T fiber, let's be honest here. And I got the AT&T fiber. I haven't had any issues with it until yesterday. I'm over here at work, and I work from home. I do IT support. And all of a sudden, midway through my shift, boom, everything goes off. So I'm like, that's freaking nuts. I wonder if there's a power outage, maybe something going on. So I look, and no, the router's flashing red, and I'm looking at the little adapter that's plugged into the wall for fiber internet. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, there's an outage. So I call AT&T. Can't even get nobody on the line. Oh, we'll go ahead and text you and let you know if there's an outage. Nobody wants to talk to you. Get irate customers. They couldn't even give you a time frame of when it was going to be fixed. They give you a roundabout time. Maybe around this time it might be fixed. Maybe not. So I lost a whole day's worth of work just to AT&T. I wonder, should I go ahead and submit a claim to AT&T and say, hey, somebody's got to pay me for this day, and it's your fault, But I'm sure they're going to go ahead and say, oh, well, you can go ahead and get a credit for that day. Of fucking credit ain't gonna do shit for me for losing a whole day's worth of work. So whatever, AT&T, y'all suck ass. I said, Jeff says, are Cowboys fans being upset for another bad season? We're going to go ahead and talk about that. Mike Baez, Google Fiber fam. That's what I'm saying, man. They have Google Fiber in my area. It's been available for like 2 years, and I had got the AT&T fiber prior to that. So I don't know. Maybe it's time to switch. Maybe it's really time for me to start looking elsewhere. How do you get Google Fibers? It has to be available in your area, Jeff. Dang, Lily didn't help you. I wish. I'd say, you know what? You give me a call from Lily, I might put this whole thing past us, you know? I might not go ahead and complain no more. They will give you a credit for like $3. No shit. They probably will give me a credit for $3 freaking dollars. What the hell's that going to do for me? Not a damn thing, you know? Let's be honest. I mean, we're all of a certain age here. We're established, you know, we have a lot of experience. So when we lose out on a day's work, kind of hurts, you know? We're not talking about $50 here. You know, it's a little bit more than that at this juncture. So, another thing too, ass whip of the day, man. I went and picked up my son yesterday, right after school. He's going to Stevens High School, starting his senior year, right? I pick him up, and this little brother comes walking to the car holding a little box. And I'm like, first day of school, they have him peddling. You already know. World's finest chocolates, man. Already they're doing a fundraiser, man, to go ahead and raise some money. And he's part of the what do you call it, the Spanish Honor Society. So this is for his Spanish Honor Society. So he's over here selling the world's finest chocolate. They're $1 each, man. I know you boys are good for something, man. So if you want to go ahead and throw something our way for the cause for my son, I greatly appreciate it. Even though this is not the MJ acquired taste, we still use the QR code if you want to go ahead and support by buying us a beer, man. If you want to, there's the QR code. It's on screen. I know it's covering my face, but not much I could do at this point. So I know you boys can go ahead and support $1, man. So if somebody wants to send us some coin, greatly appreciated, man. And if you want some of these chocolates, dude, they have, what is this one? They have a wafer. I guess those are the ones that are like the Nestle's Crunch. They got, I don't know what this one is. The crisp, okay? And then they have the caramel. This is the caramel here. And they have the dark chocolate. So if anybody wants to buy, if you buy 5 of these, I'll go drop them off for you, man. Just let me know. Hit me up in the DMs, whatever, man. Maybe on Saturday we can go start dropping these off for you guys if y'all want some. So just let me know. Hit me up. I'm going to go ahead and take this off so y'all can see my ugly face. But yeah, ass whip of the day, picking up my son from school just so they can already start peddling their wares, man. Going and selling that world's finest chocolate. I know we all had to do that at one point in time when we were in school. Not fun. Let's put it like that. Not fun. Another thing I saw that I thought was quite interesting is that the WWE and the NFL, they actually made an agreement, or they have something called legacy belts. So I'm going to show you these things, and they look pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. They look awesome, man. If I had the coin to drop on this, like Moneybags, Jeff Garcia, I'd probably buy me 1 or 2. So this is actually a thing. WWE and the NFL announced officially licensed NFL legacy title belts, and they're available for all 32 teams. So I looked on the WWE website. I'm like, okay, well, let me check this out. Like, what are we talking about here? These are the first ever officially licensed NFL legacy title belts. So they have some, you know, for the teams. You know, they have the Bears, the 49ers, Cowboys, the Lechuzas Cagadas. You know, I don't care about no Eagles, but I wanted to see the price. Curiosity got the best of me. So I go out here and, you know, you can see all the belts here for sale. They just went on sale today, by the way. $549. Who the hell is going to pay that amount of money for this title belt? I mean, beyond that, it's just looking cool. How are you actually going to use it? You know, what would you do with it other than just show off? You know, walk around the bar with this thing. I mean, you're going to have people taking pictures with you. You might as well charge them for $549. Look at that. Tim Gonzalez says, Christopher Leja said he will go over SA and put a tab on Moneybags. That's what I'm saying. Tex-Mex Frank. Joe, have a No Mames segment. I nominate AT&T as well, for real, dude. AT&T is the suck, man. I hate it. And Mike Baez said, Jeff, the speeds Start at 1 GB. Yeah, they do, man. The speed is good. When AT&T works, it works. But when it goes down and costs you a day's worth of work, it sucks, man. WE removed Jags. I guess they did because they're not title contenders. Well, anyway, man, $549 for these belts. Would you guys wind up buying one if you had the money like Moneybags does? I mean, I know Jeff is good for it. Maybe we should go ahead and put it on his tab and just get one for Cowboy fans or for Saints fans here. Maybe Mike can go ahead and get Jeff to buy him one. I mean, Jeff is good for it. He does have the money, man. And you know what? Just because we're talking about Jeff, I got to send some love to my boy right there. I know you're watching, Jeff, and I know how much you like the picture. I didn't forget. You're coming on tomorrow, so I got to go ahead and church the graphic up a little bit. We got to put the plane somewhere in the background. That's coming. We're going to put a jet in the background because Jeff has his own private jet. Look at Jeff. No mames, Jeff. I know damn well Jeff ain't going to be buying no cowboy belt from the dollar store. For Cowboys belt, it will come from the Dollar General. The belt. No, I think it'll come from somewhere else, man. Maybe from one of the flea markets, the pulgas, or a bootleg. Somebody will turn these into bootlegs over there on Military Drive. You can probably get a really good replica, half the price, or even less than 100, under 100. So that might be something we got to look into. Whoever goes ahead and makes a bootleg merch, man, make a bootleg belt, dude. Make a Spurs belt with the 5 titles on there. That would be lit, dude. Or make something, for the Cowboy fans here in San Antonio. And I also know there's a plethora of Saints fans, so maybe they can get something like that going. But we're also going to talk about something that I saw earlier today, and it's been gaining steam as of late because I know a lot of regional sports fans, including myself, we rely on Bally Sports, Bally Sports Southwest, to watch our San Antonio Spurs games coming up. Look at Jeff. Joe, do you think you can do a tech segment on Alamo City Pod? I might have to charge for that, Jeff. Depends on what you need. You can always call me, bro. I'm just kidding. You can always call me and I'll help you, man. Just let me know what's up. But either way, man, getting back to what I was talking about with this regional sports coverage, it's gaining steam now. So everybody here watches Spurs games through Bally Sports Southwest. And what I'm hearing is that the NBA is closely watching Bally Sports Southwest and what's been going on with their Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The word on the street is that Bally Sports might not be able to fulfill its obligations. And we heard this going back into last season when they filed for bankruptcy. They still, at this juncture, it looks like they're still not able to pay their debtors or come to some type of an agreement. If this continues, and I mean, let's face it, the NBA can still go ahead and make some changes before the start of the season. Right now, there's a bunch of rumors swirling around that you have other interested parties. If Bally Sports can't fulfill its obligation, the NBA might be looking to go ahead and get some of these games that are covered by the regional sports networks, which was Bally and its family of sport networks, not just Bally Sports Southwest, but also in the other regional areas. They're going to open that up to, to the streaming platforms like Amazon has shown interest. You have the Apple TV has shown interest. You have ESPN showing interest. And one name that's at the top of the list as well is NBC. They want to go ahead and have the NBA games back on NBC. So NBC is really, being aggressive here. If, let's say, the market does get opened up, NBC's at the top of the list to go ahead and throw their name in the hat here and really make an offer to the NBA that maybe they can't refuse, so they can go ahead and, feature some of these games. That means that would actually work out better for a lot of us fans, because that means you could go ahead and go from paying $20 for a Bally's app that sucks, it's horrible, to maybe going ahead and paying a little bit less and getting the Peacock network. And you also have soccer there. You have the WWE, and they're trying to go ahead and get some other sports featured on their network. And if they go ahead and get in the NBA, that's probably something that can be had at maybe half the price, and you get a little bit more out of it. So that's something to keep an eye on. As I said, the rumors are really starting to pick up in regards to this. I don't know what's really going to happen when you get closer and closer to the season. If there's no, let's say, agreements in place, I don't know, they're going to open it up to just the regular, over the air TV. That would be pretty cool, to go ahead and have the games available to San Antonio fans in the surrounding areas on local TV. But yeah, man, we could see it on CW. Maybe you could see it. Maybe Fox might carry it. I don't know how they're going to go ahead and play it, but you hear in San Antonio, you have Fox, you have WOAI, and the CW, who are all sister stations of each other. So we'll see how that works. I know Ken's Five is the flagship station for Ken's Five moving forward to go ahead and show Spurs games here, but I don't know, man. It's we're gonna have to wait and see. So don't go ahead and go out there and purchase your Bally Sports Southwest package for the season yet. I'd kind of wait on that and see what's gonna happen. My Victor says my belt will say Echo and Marbach. Hey, we need to get Mike Baez. If you're watching, bro, you need to go ahead and get that shirt made ASAP, dude. Echo and Marbach, dude. We can go ahead and wear that on the show, and I bet you Spur Hernandez would be happy to go ahead and wear that as well. Anthony Ohm, miss the NBC playoffs jingle. I do too. Dun, 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 dun. We used to love that. It was the best intro, man. I know me and Jeff and a plethora of other guys, we always go ahead and play that. That intro was fire. I want to see the return of that as well. Look at Christopher Leal. I want a belt to say, who dat? ALV. CW are taking over Atlantic Coast Conference. I believe they're starting this season. That's what Tim Gonzalez is saying here. Move the NBA back to NBC. That's what I'm saying as well. That would be great. Joe, why is Bally a mess? Bally's a mess because during the acquisition, when ESPN were Disney, the parent, let's say, proprietor here of ESPN and ABC, went ahead and purchased Fox. The government would not let ESPN absorb all the other entities that they had under that Fox acronym, meaning they didn't want Fox to become, or ESPN to become, a conglomerate or have a stranglehold in the market. So they said you can go ahead and absorb some of the other entities that they have under the Fox product, under the Fox name, but you can't absorb the regional sports packages. So that's when Sinclair came in, and I believe they bought the regional sports packages from Disney for about $9.6 billion. So they still owe Disney a hell of a lot of money. But we're going to have to see what happens overall, because there's a lot of money that's being thrown around here. And I think Bally right now is overextended themselves, and the money isn't coming in because you have big time cord cutters who are doing away with, getting, let's say, any type of packages that are, let's say, a la carte, because everybody's getting like something through either Hulu, YouTube TV, or, wherever you get your other streaming, sports through. But they're cutting the cord and they're not really going towards cable or satellite anymore. So they're going to have to get with the times. All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Carolina Teague. She is the host of the League of Her Own podcast. So again, it's Tuesdays with Teague. What's up, Carolina?
I still can't find my light.
Oh, Lord. But you're wearing a bra today?
I am wearing a bra today. I am wearing a bra. So we're taking baby steps.
Oh, Lord. Well, at least the lighting's still a little better than last time. I mean, it still looks like you have a candle off in the corner, like you're doing a seance, but we're going to get into the spooky talk later on.
Perfect setting for this, isn't it?
You should turn the light off and just have a little candle, we're going to be doing the spooky talk.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. This is the lamp that I have. Look.
Oh, Lord.
Ain't that
hey, at least you're working with what you got,
Exactly. I don't know. I had the most badass light and I can't find it. I think I left it somewhere or something. It's like,
oh, Lord. So what we're talking about before you came on is we're kind of getting into the regional sports package talk with Bally Sports and how they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Right. And the rumors about them not being able to fulfill their obligations to the NBA are starting to pick up a lot of steam as the season's getting closer and closer to starting. So it leaves the door wide open to have other suitors. And the NBA has already said as much, that they do have Amazon. You do have Apple TV. You have, let's say, like even Hulu. You have even NBC, who's wanting to get back into the game again. Mm-hmm. And NBC wants to be aggressive because they want to feature the games on the Peacock network. So they would actually make a big push to get the games back on NBC if, in fact, they are up for grabs. And it looks more and more like that might actually happen, because Bally Sports Southwest is a mess. Their app works when it wants to. customers are so pissed off and angry having to pay, 20 something dollars every month to watch the Spurs games. It's just a hot mess. There has to be a better way to go ahead and satisfy the fans for, regional sports coverage. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think needs to happen?
I mean, it's a hot mess. So if you're not going to, if you don't step up to the plate, then they need to get replaced. Whether they get bought out or other companies choose to merge with them and stream, like the Spurs games, for example, stream them elsewhere besides Bally, then that needs to be done. I don't know how long their contract is for because I haven't looked it up. But if they don't fix these problems quickly, then they're going to fail really, really fast. But with that being said, they're still hiring people and they still have jobs, and everybody still seems like it's all kumbaya over there. So it's weird.
Yeah, and then I was actually showing right before you came on. I got to show you this, man. The WWE and the NFL, they went ahead and made this agreement, and they're going to be able to feature what they call legacy belts, right? So they're WWE inspired legacy belts. They're like the WWE championship belts.
Uh-huh.
And they just sold them. They just went on the NFL. If you go on NFL.com, you can see the merch that they have available for purchase. And this is up there. They just put it up there today.
Mm-hmm.
They even have one for the Bears, I think. I just
Yay.
saw it. There it is. Chicago. There it is. The Bears.
Oh my God, that's so ugly.
$549, Carolina. Are you paying that much just to go ahead and walk around with the championship belt?
You know what? I might. It actually.
Oh, Lord.
Let me just say this. I think about a couple months ago, I was looking to purchase a championship belt because I wanted to gift it to somebody in the wrestling community as a gift. And I looked up the prices, even for a basic championship belt. It's like $250 to $350. So having these licensed merchandise being $200 over the price point that a normal wrestling championship belt would be seems about right. But at the same time, if you are rich as hell and you got the money and you want to waste it on this bullshit, go ahead, by all means. I'm not going to judge you. But for me and my budget and my life and the way that groceries are, I think groceries went up 208% in the last few years. I'm paying something I would pay $100 for is now $208 at HEB. I don't have time to be buying bullshit like this. Chicago Bears WWE Legacy title belt. I love my Bears, but I'd rather buy tickets to the damn game. Okay.
I don't even know if you could buy tickets for a game for $500.
I mean, nosebleeds. Yeah, I could buy some nosebleeds, but a belt?
Yeah, that's a
if
little
I'm
too
not
rich.
going to be crowned the champion of the Bears, then I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to wear it. And if that's the only way that Bears can get championships, then I don't want that either. We haven't had one since 85. So if we got to wear a championship WWE belt in order to feel like champions, I don't want that either. So pass the belt, please. I love the WWE. I love the belts, but too expensive.
And I also saw this. Let's get into this talk here. I'm going to share this. This is a story I saw just, going through Twitter, looking for topics to talk about, doing show prep. And I saw this. And this is an article that came out from KSAT 12. And my boy RJ Marquez is the one that was the mastermind behind this. He was narrating it and everything, giving his take on what's going on with the Spurs. The city officials and Spurs leadership have met several times, they say, to discuss the idea of a downtown arena for the team. These are going by records that were obtained by KSAT 12. Now, you can go ahead and check out the full article on their website and check out the the video that RJ made in regards to this. But basically, what the gist of it is that KSAT obtained documentation showing that Spurs brass had been meeting with San Antonio officials since, let's say, a couple of weeks, I think a week or two after the Alamo Dome game. So they've been meeting on a regular basis to go ahead and discuss the idea of maybe one day, maybe in the near future, the San Antonio Spurs and the city come to some type of an agreement where they can go ahead and build an arena near or in the downtown area itself, which would make a lot more sense. It would make it more accessible, not only to tourists that are visiting the city to maybe come in and watch a Spurs game, but also for the locals that live here in San Antonio. It make things a lot more lively, meaning that you can go and go to the restaurants. You can go ahead and get some food, go to a bar pregame before you actually go to the game, And even afterwards, after the game is over, you can go ahead and grab a late dinner or go and hang out at one of the restaurants or, maybe the bars that are around the downtown area, which would help with the economy overall. But to me, again, we don't really know enough at this juncture. So to me, this kind of these stories that they put out there, it's just a bunch of, let's say, kind of, to me, it
Well,
seems like a rumor, a lot of
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. And also too, like, let's just really dip into the financial market and exactly what's going on with our economy at the moment when it comes to financing new builds, whether it's commercial, residential, or etc. The issue right now that a lot of people are having with building new builds is the interest rates right now. Interest rates are at an all-time high. They're at 7% going to 7.5%. And the cost of goods and the cost of material to build these type of buildings are very, very expensive right now. They also have been adjusted for the cost of inflation the past several years. So the questions that I would have if the Spurs did want to build a downtown arena is, who's going to be funding this stuff? Obviously, it would be the
It'd be
taxpayers,
you.
right? Well,
Yeah,
yeah, would
you.
yeah, obviously be the taxpayers. Okay, so if we're going to be financing a brand new building at the rate of 7.5%, which is one of the lowest rates. Let's just say they seal the deal right now and they lock in that construction for 7.5%. That's very, very expensive. That's a very high tax bill for a lot of people in this city to be paying if you're going to be building a new build in the same location, similar to the AT&T Center, just a few miles to the left, 5 to 10 miles. So is it financially, economically stable enough for everybody to build something new? Now I understand why the AT&T Center was built was because the Spurs had championships coming in. They had people going to the games. Right now, the Spurs are in a state where they have Wemby, a generational talent, but they aren't a playoff team and they aren't in championships. So if the city is going to make huge financial decisions, like building a downtown arena in the middle of downtown when you have high interest rates, high cost of building properties, is that something that you want to do on the taxpayer's dime? It has to be a very, very smart financial decision in order for them to do that. And I think those questions are very valid questions that the taxpayers need to ask before they build something in the middle of downtown. Now, what I would personally like is, the AT&T Center is not like the Alamo Dome. I don't think it should be blown up. The AT&T Center, it has potential. You have houses that you need repairs on and upgrades. I think the AT&T Center has potential to be upgraded drastically. That would be awesome. But to build something new at the cost of the taxpayer's dime, at the way that the interest rates are in this country at the moment, it doesn't seem right unless there's a downtrend in the interest rates and it seems more economically sound for the arena to be built and the Spurs have a winning product. Then yes, I'm all for it.
Yeah, Tim Gonzalez says, CT, if the Spurs play games at the Alamo Dome next year or the following year, how many games do you think they would play if they go ahead, in fact, return to the Alamo Dome?
I don't know. I would say similar to what they had last year, maybe one or two up against a really big team like the reigning champions, kind of like how they played against the Warriors last year. Something similar to that effect where everybody's going to want to go to the game to see these big players.
Yeah, Jason Garcia says, this city can do it. Milwaukee is a smaller market than us with two franchises. Three of you include hockey.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They have
Capable of doing
they can do it, but they have multiple franchises. We just have the San Antonio
it. Yeah,
Spurs as a
not one.
premier, a professional league in the city. We don't have a baseball team. We don't have a football team. If we can bring a football team to San Antonio and a baseball team to San Antonio, hell yeah, build a new arena on our dime so we can attract people here. But if we just have one professional team and we keep building new arena after new arena after new arena, like what are we doing it for? I guess it would make sense to keep the Spurs in San Antonio, and that could be a bargaining piece for the city. But at the same time, they can also do repairs and upgrades, or maybe even try to attract the NFL clients that they've been trying to attract for a long time. That's where our money, I would much rather my money go into the Spurs plus an NFL team plus a baseball arena rather than a new Spurs arena, a new Spurs arena, a new Spurs arena every 20 years.
Yeah, the AT&T Center, Mike Bias says, it's over 20 years old, and it's one of the oldest in the NBA. So there you have a conundrum. If the Spurs don't go ahead and get a new arena built here shortly, I fear maybe they start teasing the idea that they want to go ahead and move somewhere else to a city that will finally give them a new arena. They're already building a new practice facility, so it lends
Yeah.
credibility to what people are saying, that they don't want to move. They want to go ahead and work things out with the city, and probably go ahead and front some of the cost of building a new arena, which, all sports teams do, but they also need help and funding from the taxpayers and the city itself. So hopefully somewhere in the future, they can go ahead and come to some type of terms that
Mhm.
works for everybody, and
Yeah,
I'm sure that they'll find terms, but again, you can't be building new arenas every so many years. So maybe the Spurs and the city officials can start looking into building what we would call a sports complex, a sports setting that is set in downtown, where you actually have professional sports as far as the San Antonio Spurs, but also a baseball diamond, to go ahead and host missions games out there. And maybe somewhere in the future, maybe they can go ahead and have an NFL team or another sporting professional sports team come to San Antonio. But it's like this. It's like that saying goes from Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So we have to do something.
well, I agree. Something needs to be done. I'm not saying I don't want the arena. I just want it to make sense. I just want it to make sense. If they would have done this 2 years ago when the interest rates were at 2%, then yes, that would have made sense to me. Right now they're at an all-time record high. So it just needs to make more sense to me. And Daniel Castro had a really great comment. Doing the upgrades in the east side will cause more gentrification and displacements of those who lived in there for years. I say this on the League of Our Own podcast of all time, or actually Gylan does, because Gylan is one of those people who has families who work in the AT&T Center. They have their businesses there. And one of the issues that came from the AT&T Center building getting built was the gentrification of the east side, and a lot of businesses around them did not end up being able to thrive because of it being built right there in the east side. So you also have to consider that too. It worked economically for the AT&T Center, but did it work economically for the people around them? And Gylan will tell you firsthand, because he lived through it, absolutely not. And he's all for the community empowerment and the betterment of San Antonio. So I think you should really listen to people's voices, and a Spurs thing. Like, if we have our Spurs rose colored glasses on, yeah, it sounds great. And I would love one, but I just want it to be a smart choice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you on that. So
Mhm.
Mike Bias says it's the city has been talking about revitalizing the east side for over 20 years now. And I was like, yeah, I understand that aspect of it, but that's a project that both the city and the county just dropped the ball on, and that's
Yeah.
unfortunate for the east side. That more wasn't done to go ahead and build businesses, or to go
Mhm.
ahead and make it more, let's say, attractive to go ahead and have businesses and hotels built in that area. That was something that was just, the county and the city, again, they dropped the ball on that, and they fully admit to that. But and it's unfortunate because you have the arena in the middle of over here on the east side, and nothing's really been built around that. So at this point, it's a failed experiment, and there's
Mhm.
really nothing else that they can do as far as the gentrification of that particular, let's say, subdivision or the surroundings. The only things they can try to do is, like Carolina was kind of suggesting, maybe go ahead and do some upgrades and still have it as a venue, but maybe it can be a venue that can be used for, let's say, concerts or something, some other smaller types of venues, to still go ahead and have use for that. But I mean, again, you still have to go ahead and try to do something to help revitalize the area, make it a little more attractive.
Again, can I say one more thing, Joe? Because this is a
Yeah.
really great topic. I want to say this: the same people who made the mistakes in the past with the East Side, because it was supposed to build the community around them, and there was a failed experiment, like you said. Whose fault was it? I want to put my investigation hat on, like investigation
It was
discovery.
the city officials. The
I
appointed city officials
like,
failed
okay,
the
so it
county.
was okay. If it's this appointed city officials, it's like kind of like being in an abusive relationship, right? Like, they hit you, right? And they say, I'm never going to hit you again. But the pain and the damage has already been done. You take them back, you give them one more chance, and then they hurt you again. And the pain and damage continues. So if we're going to just put lipstick on a pig and just put a brand new badass arena in the middle of downtown, and the failed experiment that happened on the east side, what makes people think that that's not going to happen again with the same exact officials, if it is the same exact officials?
No, they're not in office anymore. A lot of them have moved on. And then you got the
Okay,
one
good.
that,
Because if it's the same officials, then we got a problem. If it's
yeah,
different now and they can fix it and make it right, I'm fine with that. That's why I need to
that's
put my investigation hat
Tim
on.
Gonzalez.
I need money and I need names.
This is what Tim Gonzalez was saying. I was about to say the same thing. Was it Nelson Wolf behind this building? He was, and now that Nelson Wolf is no longer a city official, it leaves the door open to go ahead and have some of these agreements, or let's say these meetings take place now, to go ahead and have some of these arenas and some of these facilities built. Probably, maybe in the near future somewhere. We hope that the city can sustain another professional sports franchise. That's all we can hope for. But now that you're getting more new leadership coming in, maybe things will change. So we'll have to see what happens. But let's go ahead and talk about something interesting, because I can't let Carolina go without telling her story of when she saw a UFO. So let's go ahead and get into this talk here, because I saw this over the weekend. So on Fox 29 on Instagram, they were showing this video. So this was a video that was put up from a viewer called, his name is Paul Gonzalez, and he shared the video, and he said he saw an unidentified aerial phenomenon over the Cibolo, Texas area. It's in your neck of the woods, Carolina, Cibolo, Schertz area. So let's go ahead and play this and see what it was.
Holy what the is that?
So there you go. That's the video of whatever that aerial phenomenon was. So before I say anything or try to influence you at all, Carolina, you let me know what you think it was, for one, and then tell us about your UFO story.
I need you to send me that video so I could send it to other people.
I'll send it to you. This was over Cibolo in the Schertz area, so there you go.
So check this out. I live in the Schertz Cibolo area, and I was dead asleep. And when I'm dead asleep, you cannot wake me up. My significant other came into the room at 3 a.m. He said, "Yo, you need to come outside because I see something that I've never seen in my life." This was a few weeks ago. And I was like, "I'm asleep. You just want me to get out of bed. I'm in bed." Right? Anyways, he was going to take a video of it, but then it flew behind the clouds before he could take a video of it. He said it was a big blue light with little blue dots around it, but it was huge. And it was like literally like you could put your hand up and it would cover it. It was huge. And he was saying that he'd never seen something like that before. And I live right by Randolph Air Force Base. So it's not uncommon to hear airplanes every single morning, practicing for, whatever, doing drills or whatever they're doing, and being loud all day long. So it doesn't surprise me that that aircraft was in the area. I think definitely that it has something to do with the military. But I also think that it could be UFOs or possible aliens trying to find a landing space, because we did see that info come out a month ago, where they had the UFO testimonies, and a government official did confirm there are non-human unidentified objects that have crashed or tried to create their homes in the United States. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was an alien. It wouldn't. Like, aliens exist. Government officials confirmed it. And I saw a UFO myself twice in my life. The first time it was really blurry. I was at Wayland Baptist University. That's the university I attended right here off San Antonio, off I-35, right by, what's it called? The Fort Sam Houston.
Oh, yeah, Fort Sam Houston area. Yeah.
That's where my school was by. So we had our finals that day, and we all had to, and our classes were late at night. We would get out like at 10 or 11. So we all had to walk out around the same time when class was dismissed so they could lock the doors. So we all go out there, a whole class, and we look up in the sky, and there's 5 beams of light circling really fast. And it wasn't like one of those grand opening lights that you can see coming up from the sky. There was no lights beaming up. It was just lights in a circular motion like a UFO. But a big cloud was hiding it, so we couldn't see what was under the lights. But it was just one big cloud hiding these 5 lights going in a circle. That was weird. And everybody was staring at it for like 10 minutes. Like, what is that? It's huge. There's no other clouds around. Why is this cloud covering these lights circling in a crazy motion? So we were like, that's a little bit strange. Then couple years ago in 2020, I was in Georgetown, Texas, a little bit northwest of Austin, and I was at a haunted maze on Halloween, and it was a haunted corn maze, and hundreds of people saw this unidentified object in the sky, and it was like it went up like this, and then it panned out like that, and then it disappeared, and everybody was like, oh my god, kids were screaming. We were in the middle of a cornfield. It was Halloween. It was the perfect time for a UFO to make an appearance, but people told us that it was Elon Musk, SpaceX satellites, but I have a hard time believing that. I think it was aliens.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and show you something else that I found when I was looking at this story, right? So there was another story out of Colorado around the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and share this picture, this video that I saw here. So there was a fireball that was reportedly spotted, in the sky over Colorado around the same time, time of night, same day. And basically, it was just showing that there was a meteor entering the atmosphere. And that video kind of looks almost like a flash of something, then it kind of explodes and disappears, kind of like a meteor. So me, honestly, I'm always looking to not go ahead and say I believe in all that stuff. I've seen some things too, but I think at this point it's clear to me that it could possibly be a meteor, because you have the Perseids meteor shower that's already coming to an end. But as the meteor shower comes to an end, it's also being reported that that's when some of the biggest asteroids, or meteors, should I say, come up and break the surface of the Earth, and kind of dissipate and blow up, or they light up the sky as they're entering the upper atmosphere. So I'm thinking that more than not, it's probably just a meteor burning up in the upper atmosphere of the Earth. So I don't think it's either that, or it could be space debris. That's always a thing too, because of the rocket testing that they're doing here in Texas. So it could be one of two things. I'm not going to say that, yes, it's definitely a UFO, but I'm just saying kind of coincidental that at the same time, they also saw this happening over here in Colorado, and it's a meteor entering the atmosphere. I'm just saying, to me, I think I would put it more on something that's happened naturally, and not coming from another world.
I mean, you can make a case for both sides.
Yeah.
You can be team meteor, you can be team UFO. The meteor theory sounds reasonable, but for the people who, like me, believe, we're always going to think that is something from the sky trying to say hello to us.
And I got to ask you this one thing too, because we talked about this yesterday, and I know you got a couple minutes here. So the other thing we talked about is this woman went ahead and purchased a cursed painting, right? And now she says her house is haunted, and she was saying that the mom is the one who pressured her to go ahead and purchase this painting because she was smitten by the painting. Look at that creepy ass painting. Hell to the no, I wouldn't buy that for one. And then when she purchased it,
be haunted.
Look at what happened when she purchased it. Look at what was on there. Possibly cursed. Come on, man. Like, would you buy anything that was possibly haunted or cursed and bring it into your house, being a Latina? You know how us Latino people are. We're very superstitious.
Yep. Hell no, I wouldn't buy that.
Look, the damn thing looks like it's looking at me now. I don't want to look at it no more.
I wouldn't want to buy that. If somebody tells you this is possibly cursed, the first thing you should do is not buy it. Not only if you're superstitious, but if you just got any damn common sense and somebody tells you they curse something, why would you want that bad energy in your house? And it's been well documented, even if you don't believe, by so many people, that haunted entities can curse objects, or they hang on to objects. And if you move them into your location, they will follow that object into that new home. So if you're buying antiques, be a little cautious. But this person who was a previous owner was probably trying to get rid of this entity and said, hey, I'm going to put this out here, and I'm going to put a note because they wanted to protect somebody. They were doing their due diligence. And then this dumbass, whoever it is, decided, I don't give a damn. I'm going to buy this because it's possibly cursed. And I think it's a joke. That's like bringing a Ouija board I don't know if you ever played with the Ouija board before.
Hell no, I never did. Never.
Okay, I played with the Ouija board when I was a kid because I was a pendeja. So my friends bought a Ouija board to my house in Chicago when I lived on the South Side, and I was playing the Ouija board with my friends. I put a cross, like, you know, because I was Catholic. I put a cross on the Ouija board. We started asking the Ouija board questions, and the stupid Ouija board didn't work. We're like, all right, we're gonna put up all the Ouija board stuff. This didn't work. I don't know how to play this. No objects, ghosts, move the Ouija board. Joe, as soon as I picked up the cross, it broke in half.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh hell nah.
I'm out.
I would never play with the Ouija board ever again in my life. And I had that cross since I was a kid, a baby, and it broke in half.
Hey, I know you gotta. Yeah, I know you're up against it and you got to go, but look, this is going to show you this to make you laugh. This is all Cowboy fans and a lot of other, let's say, NFL fans before the season starts, right?
New season. You excited for the season?
I'm done. I give my time and energy into worrying about this team. Gotcha. I'm done watching the Cowboys.
That's real life there. I don't know why we put ourselves through that shit. You know, as a Cowboys fan, it's disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And as soon as the season starts, it's puro pinche Cowboys. And as a Bears fan, you know disappointment as well, because we always bring up the double doink and some of the other things that have happened to Bears, over the course of the last couple of years. But hell, when that season starts, it's all about the Bears. You're always bear down, bear down. Why do we do that to ourselves as fans?
Because we like torturing ourselves.
We set ourselves up for heartache and
a lot of our lives don't have drama in it, and football is very much like a soap opera. It's like a drama. So I love watching football and the stories surrounding it because it seems like one big novella. That's why I love sports. So every year we're gonna be let down by our favorite teams, and it's unfortunate because we're so loyal to these organizations. And what do we get in return? Disappointment, heartache, heartbreak. Yep. And it's crazy because Cowboys fans, they're not even loyal to their own wives and their girlfriends, but they're loyal to the Dallas Cowboys. Ain't that some shit?
I'm telling you, man. That's just being a sports fan in general. You set yourself up for heartache and hope for all you can do is hope for the best. So CT, I know you got to go because you had to be out of here 2 minutes or 3 minutes ago. So I don't want to keep you anymore, but I do appreciate you giving us your time and being a guest on the show.
Thank you so much. And also, I want to say thank you to Tim. I saw your nice comments. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all next week. Somebody had asked me what college football game am I looking forward to the most? I don't know. God, that's a tough one. I haven't even thought about it. Thought about it, honestly. It's going to be a lot of good games, but you got, what is it? Florida, Utah, North Carolina, South Carolina, LSU, Florida State, Clemson, and Duke. Oh, no, that's Labor Day kickoff.
And you got UTSA kicking up here, too, pretty soon.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I'm looking forward to UTSA. That's my favorite college football team. I went to Wayland Baptist. I didn't have a college football team. So UTSA, that's my team. So I'm excited.
That's your team. There you go. Yeah. All right, CT. Well, thank you. And then make sure you to go and tune into League of Our Own. It's going to be coming out tomorrow. So look for that on the YouTube. And I believe you put it out on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll be on League of Our Own tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Joe, for having me on. I appreciate you.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was CT joining us for today's Alamo City Sportscast. So let's go ahead and pause real quick for a few words here from our sponsor. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, so definitely make sure you go and check out the Locked On Spurs podcast. And make sure you check them out on YouTube. Make sure you follow them on YouTube and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And follow Jeff. He's a good follow over there on Twitter. So he's at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Always putting out great content. So make sure you go follow our boy, Jeff Garcia. And I want to go ahead and get into some Dallas Cowboy talk, man, because we're talking about this trade that the Cowboys made with the 49ers for one Trey Lance. So the Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance. He's a QB for the 49ers. He was a higher pick. I believe he was a 3rd pick overall for the 49ers. And that was several seasons ago. So they go ahead and go ahead and release him, give him to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, as far as their quarterback depth, they have Dak Prescott, they got Trey Lance, Cooper Rush, and they had Will Grier, but they went ahead and cut his ass in favor of keeping Trey Lance. So now you have Dak, Trey, and Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is going to be QB2. Trey Lance, I think, is a work in progress, one of these QBs that maybe McCarthy thinks can, maybe come to fruition at some point in time and actually maybe be a contributor to the Cowboys in the near distant future. But he's a project nonetheless. As far as Jerry making that trade, I think it was just a lot about nothing. To me, I just think it's about more of an insurance policy. Maybe in case Dak and Cooper both get injured, at least you have another QB there and you have Trey Lance waiting in the wings there. Maybe they can work with him and slowly bring him up to speed, and somewhere maybe in the next 2-3 seasons, maybe he might be able to contribute and possibly be a QB. Who knows what's going to happen? But I just don't think that's something that Dak should be too scared of. It does put the pressure on him, though, to kind of perform this season. So I kind of like the move low key. If Dak wants to go ahead and be QB1, he's got to go ahead and put up or shut up this season. You got to cut down on the interceptions and actually win when it counts. And that means winning the wild card or going further into the postseason than you have in the previous seasons. So as a Cowboy fan, to me, Dak is on the hot seat, and so is Mike McCarthy. We're going to go ahead and see what's going to happen here shortly, because I believe now we're about 12 days away from the start of Dallas Cowboy season. We're probably more closer to maybe 10 days, something like that, or 11 days away from the start of the NFL season kicking off here, because it's going to be kicking off here on a Thursday, not too far away from now, maybe about a week and a half from now. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. Hopefully, please don't put any more Denver Bronco games on Thursday, man. Amazon, you got to stop that, man. We went through enough torture last year, man. I'm still traumatized from that nonsense. I don't want to see another Denver Broncos game ever on Thursday night. But I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick for another word from our sponsors here. This is going to be JPAR Realty. JPAR Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars and say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well, that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from JPAR Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA. So she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. Yeah, and please go ahead and give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call. She's really good at what she does. So if you're looking for that new home, or you're looking to go ahead and sell your existing home, maybe move into a pre-owned home, she can go ahead and assist you, as she used to be a USAA claims adjuster. So she knows exactly what to look for as far as the warning signs when you're trying to get into a pre-owned home. So make sure you go ahead and give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call. Her number is 210-273-0748. So as we start bringing the show to a close here, I want to go ahead and open it up to you guys, the fans. So tomorrow we're going to go ahead and have Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs. And he is also the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. So if you have any questions for Jeff, go ahead and hit us up. I'll go ahead and put out a tweet after this show is over, so we can go ahead and have you comment on that tweet. And if you have any questions you'd like to go ahead and ask Jeff, just go ahead and comment, and that way we can read them live on air tomorrow. And Jeff is actually going to probably be having a new episode of Lowe's dropping as well, I'm sure, on Wednesday. So we'll go ahead and get into that discussion as well. But again, make sure you go and follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So I'm going to go ahead and play one more ad read here, because I forgot to play him earlier in the show, because I was so busy talking with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and play this last ad read here from our good friends over at Serenity Manor. Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flora's Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Florida's Country Store, you can go over diagonal across the street, catty corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. Yeah, Serenity Manor is a great place to go ahead and have a quince, family reunion, wedding, anything of that nature. Make sure you go ahead and give them a call. And their website, you can go ahead and check that out. If you want to go ahead and participate in their market that they have, they rotate these just about every other weekend. So if you're a vendor and you want to go ahead and sell your wares at their market, go ahead and check them out and fill out that market day application. Again, Serenity Manor is located at 14405 Old Bandera Road in Helotes, Texas. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in for today's show. I greatly appreciate all the comments and of course the support. We greatly appreciate you guys. We can't do the show without you. You guys are the reason that I come out here every day before I start my real job to go ahead and talk just sports and bullshit with you guys every single day. So I appreciate the love, man. And Victor says, I'm a Broncos fan. Last year was awful. All I know is we got a coach, Peyton, and Walmart money. We need to rebound, and hopefully Russ can have a bounce back year, I believe is what he's saying. Yeah, well, hopefully he can, man, because last year he looked like he was falling. He was declining as far as a quarterback goes. He just didn't look as crisp or fast or, quite himself. So I don't know what all that was about. But hopefully he can go ahead and turn things around, and, your team will have a good season. That's really all we can hope for, man. At the end of the day, we give each other a lot of shit and for the teams that we root for. But, hey, man, it's going to be NFL season. I know we're going to all be happy once NFL football's on the tube here again on Thursdays and Saturdays, maybe some Saturdays, not every Saturday. And also, of course, Sunday. I look forward to the Saturday games as we get closer and closer into the wild card playoffs and all that. I really love those weekend games. Can't get enough of them. I always look forward to them every year. But yeah, man, having that return of NFL football on Sundays, it's going to be one of those things that everybody's going to be glued to their seats once again. The wives aren't going to be able to take us anywhere because we're watching the game. Or we're taking our boys out to the sports bar and watching the game and getting drunk before work starts on Monday. Oh, here we go. Tim Gonzalez says, Week 1 football picks, Joe Garcia. Well, we'll go ahead and talk about that tomorrow as we're kind of running out of time today. But that's a good topic of discussion. I'll go ahead and bring that up tomorrow. Week 1 college football picks. So we'll go ahead and talk about that in tomorrow's show. So that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you also make sure that you share the videos as well. You can also follow me at Two Shots Podcast on Twitter. And also give some love to Brandon Medina. He's a good follow. So is Rudy Campos Jr. over at Sweep the League. And of course, we can't forget about Carolina Teague. Make sure you go and follow her on Twitter. She's a good follow as well. And go ahead and tune into the shows. Sweep the League has their weekly show that comes out. Jeff Garcia has his daily Spurs content. Brandon Medina does the Fantasy God show on Sundays from 11 to 12. So make sure you check that out on the Alamo City Sportscast Network YouTube page. So that's about all the time I have for today. Hope you boys join us tomorrow. Stay safe. Have a good one. We're out. Peace.